Good morning everybody and welcome to visit FYLDE Coast. You're probably wondering where on earth I am. Well folks, I'm at Pennystone Road, as you can see by the road sign on the corner. And today we're going looking for rocks. Yes, it's not my rocks that I've lost, it's rocks on the beach. So we're going to go looking to see if we can see Pennystone Rock, because it should be not far off low tide. Now I don't know whether it'll be low enough, but the crossing to get us over onto the seafront is over near the tram shelter, so I'm going to rejoin you in a moment. But first, if you're new to visit FYLDE Coast, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that little bell for notifications, and then you'll find out about all the interesting things and all the interesting places that we go to and what we discover. See you in a moment. So I've cut the corner off for you. Pennystone Avenue is there where that white house is that we've just started this morning's video at. And I've walked up to the traffic lights and I've crossed the road at the little tram shelter cafe. And we're now on the high bit of Blackpool seafront, and we're looking for Pennystone Rock. And there is a rock out here at low tide, which I'm quite relieved about, because otherwise I'd have been in completely the wrong place on the wrong day at the wrong time, wouldn't I? Now I believe that is Carlin Rock, which is also known locally as Mussel Rock. And I'm not going to go walking right out there because I've got a bit of a phobia of getting cut off on the beach after seeing millions of people getting cut off on the beach. But that is one of the rocks that we've been looking for this morning. So we'll just shove it down here, and then you can see where it lines up to. So we're pointing in the direction of Cleveley's, and in fact that's Cleveley's that you can see just down there, Norbrett Castle Hotel, Blackpool at the back of us. So what is Pennystone Rock? Well, debate is out about that, and the other question that I need to ask you before we crack on is, have you ever been out onto the beach and seen it? Have you ever managed to espy this local landmark when it's been exposed from the water? It's said to be the site of the Pennystone Inn, where the landlord Thrifty Jack sold his famous penny pots of local brew. I think we're back to pirates now, aren't we? We have a recurring theme about pirates at Brew at 2. So this is Pennystone Avenue, and Pennystone Rock is said to be directly across from there, which, to be fair, Carlin Rock is pretty much lined up. In fact, as I drove along the promenade this morning from Cleveley's, as I came round the junction, let me just zoom in and show you. As I came round the junction there at the tram shelter, I could see this rock on the beach from all that distance away. Just a second. Intermission. Short intermission for the cyclist in the yellow jacket. That's Kath. She's one of our amazing FYLDE Coast volunteers. Right, so where did we get to? We were up to Pennystone Rock, weren't we, in Pennystone Avenue. So it's said to be where the Pennystone Inn was. But as Kath and I have just been saying, why is that called the Carlin Stone? Now that's a good question, that. Do you know the answer to that? And if you do, put it in the comments below, and then we can all be illuminated. So apparently a guy called Porter wrote a book in 1857, and he says in his book, in olden times, Pennystone stood in the midst of a green plain on which was a public inn. While the traveller was refreshing himself inside with a penny pot of ale, the bridle of his horse was attached by a ring. So apparently various people have been out looking at the Pennystone Rock when it's exposed, and nobody's yet been able to find a ring on said rock. So that's kind of another good question, isn't it? Anyway, if you're a regular viewer of Visit FYLDE Coast, you'll know that we often refer to the amazing work of Mr. Nick Moore, who wrote The History of Blackpool and FYLDE and Wire and the surrounding area. It's a fascinating tome. You can get the link to it in the description below this video. Oh, I've just noticed some wind turbines. Every time I try to point wind turbines out, there's hazy, but you can just see them on the horizon. Can you see two sort of white lines stuck up? They're wind turbines just at the left of that boat. Well, well, well. One day we will get a good view of them. Anyway, going back to Nick. So Nick has done a lot of research on a lot of different subjects, and Nick thinks that the name of it is from plague stones, which were known as pennystones. And they were large stones. I mean, this rings true today, doesn't it, when we're in the middle of a COVID pandemic. They were large stones with a hollow filled with vinegar, and traders and customers put their coins inside the vinegar to disinfect as they were exchanging money and buying things. So that's why Nick thinks it's called Pennystone, because it was originally a transactional stone. The Carling stone is also known as mussel rock, which makes sense, because there are mussel beds around here, and you'll see loads of mussel shells on the beach when you're out and about. And look at that for a drop. This is where I start wanting to jump. Goodness me. So, as you can see, there's a mighty fine drop here, and these cliffs today are held up with this artificial stone, and we've discussed this at great length as well. We came and did some videos last year in this area of the cliffs, and there are other videos that we've made which explore the past of this artificial rockery. And at one time this cliff didn't have any sea defences at all, and it just tumbled into the sea like all cliffs do, which leads us on to the fact that Pennystone and Carling rock, etc., are all made of the same type of fragments that are at the base of this cliff where we're standing. And it's a kind of a hard conglomerate, a consolidated shingle that's too heavy for the sea to move. So the thought is that marks the line of where the cliff was, which frankly I think is quite plausible. I think that's entirely reasonable, that. I personally. In fact, as the tide's still kind of going out a bit, it might be low tide now. Can you see there's a sandy bank? There are some, I'll not point because it'll pick my finger up. There are some ridges of waves that are just picking up in the middle of the picture, and that's a sandbank that is beyond the Carling stone. So perhaps if we were to come on a properly low spring tide, we might actually manage to see the Pennystone, because that's the largest of them all, the Pennystone. In fact, I tell you what, we'll walk a little bit further down here. You probably guessed I didn't, because obviously I've got to walk back up. But the Pennystone is the largest of them all, and the others are higher and lower. Jingle, Silkstone, Old Woman's Head, and the Bear and Staff. And these are all believed to be fragments of the base of these cliffs. So there you have it. The Pennystone is the biggest of them all. It's about 20 foot long when it does appear. So I'd love to see it. If you've ever seen it, if you've got any pictures of it, you could post them in our Visit FYLDE Coast Facebook group, and then we can all have a look. And you never know, if we revisit this subject, we might print them out and have a look at them. And you can see all the glorious view now up to Cleveley's and beyond. So there you have it. Apparently in 1893, a Mr. Bowman of the British Waterworks Association was said to have found traces of a building out there. So that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because of course offshore there are traces of petrified forest, there are old tree trunks, little bits of buildings, possibly Singleton Thorpe. Who knows what lies out there. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Visit FYLDE Coast. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, answer the questions below, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.